So the autumn has ended over a week ago in Wales's case, and I thought it would be a good opportunity now to chat about the future of Warren Gatland, because that is one of the big talking points that has come out of 2024 from a Wales perspective. Unfortunately so, because it's on the end of a year where they haven't won a single game. But should Gatland stay or should he go? You can let me know your views in the comments. I'm really interested where Welsh fans are with this, because I think there's some very valid arguments for either way, depending on how you see it. So do let me know. Also, like the video and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. But should Gatland stay with Wales or should he go? The first thing for me with this is genuinely, does he want to? Which I think is going to be a big thing he's going to go away and look at. And he said words to this effect already of he will go away and speak to his family, speak to the WRU, work out what is best for the team and for rugby in Wales at this moment in time, and whether he is the guy to move this team forward. Because I think when we've seen him, particularly this autumn, and the cameras pan to him and his coaching team up in that coaching box, and understandably he's looked pretty dejected. He's had his arms crossed a lot, his shoulders kind of tensed up. He's been pretty down in the dumps, I think, with where this side is. As I say, understandably, because they have been losing. But it has made me just question where his head is at and whether he's looking at this and thinking, do you know what? I've coached Wales over my 2 stints for a long, long time. I've had some brilliant memories, some amazing successes, some great highs, which will live long, long, long in the memory of Welsh fans. But is this a challenge to rebuild this team? Is he the guy for that? And does he want to do it? And I can't blame him for considering that and thinking that way. So the big thing for me is, does he want to? And he might say, do you know what? Let's leave it there. I'm really sorry with how it's ended up. Maybe in hindsight, coming back after my first stint wasn't the best decision, but let's part ways here. He may well say that. He may well also say, do you know what? It was a really disappointing year, but I think we've got something here where we can build for the future. It's a long-term project, but I want to be the guy to take that forward. In which case, you then look at a couple of different questions, really, which I suppose is, what's the benefit in bringing someone else in if you're the WRU? And again, there's a few different things here. Number one, it can't get any worse. Quite literally, they've lost every single game this year. From a results point of view, it would be a no-brainer. And I also just think, because they are at such a low ebb, this is a group of players that for the most part have no real experience of winning to any great degree, both with Wales and also with their clubs. Like, a lot of them are playing for the Welsh regions who haven't been successful. There's some guys from the Premiership in terms of Exeter, for example, that aren't winning at the moment, young players there. I suppose you've got a Nick Tompkins who has been successful with Saracens, but I think the point still stands that this is a group of players that are not used to winning and haven't been winning under this coaching regime. So therefore, if you brought someone else in, fresh voice, fresh ideas, it would just give you a bit of a clean slate. It would feel like a fresh start. 2025 could be the sort of dawn of a new era, sort of feel to it, I suppose. And given how negative and down and just in a mess it feels at the moment, maybe that is something worth considering. The final thing I'll say as well on the benefit of bringing someone else in if they were to, is it would potentially be a cheaper option. Gatland isn't the cheap option here, and neither should it be, I think, with a coach with his resume who has been there and done it. But given how financially cash-strapped loads of unions are, and the WRU are no different, are you simply better bringing someone in who doesn't cost you as much? Given that this is a team that, even if they get a bit better, I don't think anyone's expecting them to be winning at a really regular amount at the moment. As I say, it's a long-term project. But the big thing, and I'd imagine if you've got this far in the video and me talking about bringing someone else in, that you will be thinking is, would that fix the issue? Is replacing Warren Gatland and getting a new coach in ultimately like just sticking a plaster over a really serious wound? It doesn't fix the underlying issues here, because let's make no mistake, it's deep-rooted, right? I know there are people that covered Wales like during their Six Nations Grand Slams and World Cup semi-finals, and having loads of players that were picked for the Lions and all those kind of times. And there was a real sense, even within Welsh rugby then, of enjoy it whilst it lasts. because it won't last forever, because they haven't had the players coming through the pathway to replace your Warburtons and Tippericks and Alan Wynne-Jones and Jamie Roberts and George North and Dan Biggar. Like that real golden generation of player, they haven't had the quality of younger players coming through. There was always going to be a drop-off. Plus then, we look at the whole state of play in Wales. The club game. I've mentioned them already. For the most part, the regions have not had any real success recently. I suppose Wayne Pivac and the Scarlets during that time, they won before it was the URC, what was it? I can't remember the name now because it's had so many different variations. They had a bit of success, but the club game isn't in a great state. The community game isn't in a great state. There have been major issues kind of at boardroom level at the WRU involved with the women's team. There is a general malaise around Welsh rugby. Just changing the coach doesn't necessarily improve the problems. And that's why it is a long-term issue. And it's why for me at the moment, and I think this is a really tough question. I think it's a really, really tough question. For me, going back to my first point of does Gatland want to stay, if Warren Gatland does decide, do you know what, yes, I want to take this forward, I think for the time being you stick with him. Just because it's not a quick fix and it's not an easy fix. It is about a whole load of things more than just the senior men's team. But they do need a successful senior men's team, I think, in terms of the interest in the game. Like the amount of empty seats at the Principality we've seen over the autumn. And if you compare, say, the Australia game this autumn with the Australia game from a couple of years ago, like there's been a big drop off there in the amount of people buying tickets, how engaged people are. But for the time being, I would say you give Gatland the Six Nations if he still wants to move this forward. Because it isn't just to do with the head coach, I don't think. But, as I said at the start, I think you can make a pretty compelling case either way. So let me know, should Warren Gatland stay with Wales? Should he stay or should he go? Put it in the comments section. Make sure you like the video as well. And also make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing on the channel. I appreciate you watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.